It has been a crazy week, but we've got some amazing comments, some great questions. So today we're going to concentrate on the sauces from this last pudding episode we did. Thanks for joining us today on Questions and Answers with James Townsend and Son. So the reason why it's been a really crazy week is Kevin and I have just spent 3 days in Northern Virginia at Gunston Hall, and wow, what an incredible historic site visit. We shot cooking episodes, we did interviews, we got so much footage. We got hours and hours of footage. It was an amazing visit, and I really want to thank everyone at Gunston Hall. We had such a tremendous time. Lacey, Sam, Frank, Renee, Michael Twitty that we were working with there. Really everyone at Gunston Hall was really so helpful and welcomed us. It was a tremendous visit, and you're going to see some videos coming up that are going to be great. The first question I've got here is an interesting one. He says, how well does your straight razor shave compared to modern straight razors? I love your channel. Really good question. And our straight razor is made to emulate as closely as humanly possible to an 18th century straight razor. So it's got a very particular blade shape. It was actually hand forged by a master blade maker in Illinois. And the scales are made just like period straight razors. But the thing to remember about trying to compare a product like this to a modern straight razor product is it doesn't do a better job. There's a reason why modern straight razors are made the way they are. They're hollow ground. They're much easier to get ultra sharp. But that's the distinction. The modern straight razor is actually not made kind of anything like a period straight razor. So that's why we offer the period straight razor. The period straight razors get very, very sharp, but they're undoubtedly a bit more of a challenge to shave with than a modern straight razor might be. So that's probably as good an answer as I can give you. So I don't want people to think you can't shave with these razors. They are incredibly sharp. But do remember that this is a 250-year-old design. Interesting question here. Your clothes are always really nice looking. I know they're probably period items made especially for you, but do you have any tips on how to get this kind of look on a budget, and where to look and how to make them at home? All the clothing that you see in the videos that I'm wearing, all these things are items that we sell on our website and in our print catalog. That's what we do. We sell 18th century stuff, whether it's cooking implements or clothing or hats. And we do have several different layers or lines of clothing, and some of the items we have are costume pieces that are more simply made, usually without a lining, and less expensive. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely go over and check that out on our website. We do also carry some clothing patterns so that you can make these items at home. This is a question that came in on one of the last Q&As where I mentioned ox palates. And this person says, isn't ox palate the same thing as tongue? And apparently, in many modern contexts, ox palate is actually used to mean the same thing as what a beef tongue. But in the 18th century, there was a specific cut of meat that was separate from the tongue, and it was a very particular, there's even specific directions on how to prepare it, so you can tell that what they're talking about is not the same thing as a tongue. And it actually shows up fairly often in the cookbooks. I can't imagine there would be a lot of meat in that piece of that cut, but it was a popular one that shows up in the cookbooks. Here's an interesting question. This one, and it's actually from the latest cooking episode. Do you ever do first-person narrative living history? Doing first-person, it takes an investment, and that I don't have at this time. And you kind of need to have a place to do it with. And, I've dabbled with some of that, and it's very interesting, but it is an investment. I really recommend it for the people who are able to do it. I know that it certainly is a way not only to understand history better, but to understand yourself better. As you study a different person and how to portray that person, it really gives you a better understanding of yourself. So, no, I haven't done it. Undoubtedly, in the future, I will get into that a little bit more. It does sound so interesting and so much fun. Here's a good question that came in on that batter pudding recipe. It says, I was wondering about using other dried fruits instead of currants. And then he goes on to say, well, let me answer this one first. Dried fruits other than currants, you could definitely do that. The cookbooks usually you only typically see in these recipes currants and raisins. Sweetmeats end up showing up, and those are other kinds of dried fruits. Those show up in other similar recipes, like the cake recipes and some of those other ones. And substituting other dried fruits, I think it's a no-brainer. I think a lot of people would probably do that in the time period. I haven't seen that specific research yet, but I'm just sure that we're going to find that if we did some digging. And he kind of finishes this up. He says, as to a sauce, I would go with butter, brown sugar, amber rum, and spices. Now, as to the main question, I asked a question on that cooking episode, and that was, what are your ideas for sauces? And it was amazing, the number of incredible sauce suggestions that came in. I just want to read out a few of them. There were so many. I really suggest, if you haven't gone through the comment section on that pudding sauce episode, you really must. There are a ton of just excellent comments, and some really funny ones too. Butter, mulled blackberries that are strained. Rum, currants, butter, and brown sugar. Rum, thinned down molasses, and butter. Because, the molasses can really get too thick, but I'll bet you the rum would thin it up. Orange liqueur and butter. Ooh. Whipped butter, honey, and vanilla. Now, I was always a big fan of honey and butter mixed up. Several people mentioned that. You know that one's going to be good. Butter and a little bit of nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon, and sweet wine. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of ones where they mention spices being added in, and you don't see the spices coming in, at least in the references to the sauces. And I'm wondering about that. I think it sounds amazing. And some of the other ones were, I felt like I was going to go into diabetic coma just reading these sauces. They were incredible. So go and check out the comment section on that latest one. It is worth the reading. Before I leave, I want to go back to that first person idea for just a second. We have a Getting Started series that is a series of both emails and sort of unlisted videos. It kind of is a course on getting started in living history. And there is a segment there about the 6th or 7th episode where we spend some time talking about first person and doing first person living history. The course is excellent. It's free. It's fun. There's a lot of content there. It's really, really interesting. So I would really suggest, if you're interested in doing living history, or just interested in what's going on behind the scenes, why do people do it, how hard is it, if you're just interested in that, I really suggest heading on over that. I'll put a link down in the description section. It's a lot of fun. And if you like, the banter between Kevin and I, there's a lot of that, and we have some special guests. It's a great series. Go and check that out. I really want to thank you guys. You're doing an amazing job in the comments section. It is the best part of the channel, going and reading that, and there's so much good community going on, some wonderful questions, other people answering questions. I have so much fun in the comment section. I wish I could answer more of them, but there's so many great comments, I can't answer them all. But thank you so much for interacting with us, being part of this community, sharing with us all this history stuff. there's no end to it. I mean, even when we were at Gunston Hall, it felt like it was a bottomless pit of amazing information. So I want to thank you for coming along, sharing with us, and supporting us with all that you do, watching the videos, thumbs ups, and sharing them especially, and your great comments. Thank you so much for watching.